Well, as promised, I'm kind of on a marathon, so welcome back to part 4 of XDefiant. Alright, well, I might as well talk about a little bit. I know on the last video I might sound, what's the word? Disillusioned with, disillusioned with Ubisoft, but can you blame me? I mean, when I started Ubisoft, I think my first Ubisoft was the very first Assassin's Creed. Of course, I played Rayman like back when I was like like when I was a kid, or whenever I guess the first Rayman or second Rayman. So of course, I also played Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. I know that Ubisoft is capable of, like, when they actually get out of their own ass and just focus on not the money point, but just actually making an actual fantastic game. We have seen, I mean, besides that Captain Laserhawk Nick Pacho, which I actually really enjoy, Ubisoft is actually capable of making really great games. I'll list them off. The Division series, when they actually did not focus on microtransaction, I think they're unique. Along with that, Assassin's Creed 2 and 4 Origins, and I would say Odyssey also. But when Assassin's Creed name meant something, Rayman obviously, Far Cry when it actually meant something too. It's just that they're now money hungry. They just don't understand that it's not about the money. It's about, well, you know what the Joker said back in The Dark Knight. It's not about the money. It's about making a call. Or was it making a statement? I'm paraphrasing, but it's been a while since I say The Dark Knight. But that's the whole point. You could tell with this project, and recent projects too, Ubisoft is just about making money. They are so kind of like, they have big balls and like, haha, we have money. We can put anything that these sheeps and zombies want, and they'll play it anyway. I was like, yeah, Ubisoft will play it to an extent, but you could tell with Assassin's Creed Shadows, they were desperate. I have never thought I'd ever see a AAA company like this desperate, but they got overconfident and they didn't get humble. You know what's the comparison? And here's a perfect example. This year, Expedition 33. You know what they did well? They were humble. And they're not humble because this is not their video game. They were humble because they had a passion for this. Compare this to Expedition 33, and that's a horrible example. Let me put another example. Okay, you know Marvel Rivals, right? Of course, you played it. Because some friend told you about, like, hey, bro, play Marvel Rivals. You will be simping for a lot of the female characters and guys. Yeah, I imagine that's the reason why people play Marvel Rivals. No, I'm kidding. No, Marvel Rivals is just generally fun. There is a passion there. You could tell that, and using established heroes from a franchise that, from the MCU that we're so used to, that MCU has fallen and dipped in quality too. But the fact that Marvel Rival has quality with the live service game, they're an example of where the potential that live service games could go. And Ubisoft just don't get it yet. They have to lose lots of money for them to still not figure it out. Man, Ubisoft has not learned a lesson at all. But anyway, I'm gonna get all metaphorical, but considering that I grew up in the time of Assassin's Creed 1 and earlier good Ubisoft games, I know they're capable. It just sucks not seeing them, like, shoot themselves in the butt intentionally. Because I know they're better than that. I'm like, Ubisoft, you know you're better than that, and yet you still keep shooting yourself in the butt. Did you learn anything? No, but can you pay me money? No, we won't pay you money because you're not learning your freaking lesson. And I do. I really do want Ubisoft at a point to succeed. But not to the extent that they're just taking people's wallets or taking people's money and expecting them to fix their boo-boo. They have a problem. They're not going to fix the problem until they basically get to the point of Assassin's Creed Shadow. Did I want Assassin's... Assassins... Oh, sorry. Word salad. Anyway. Did I want Assassin's Creed Shadows to fall or to fail? No, I actually I think I wanted them to come back. I wanted them to go back to the basics. Is Assassin's Creed Shadow kind of like going the right step? I think to an extent it is going to the right step. Maybe they're going back to what made Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed. I don't know. I would actually have to play Assassin's Creed Shadow. I can't make it a bias because I haven't played the game. Do I want to play the game? I'm actually curious enough. I know the story's not going to be the best, but I imagine the gameplay and the open environment will be awesome. I just don't think the characters, I don't know, they just will, maybe they'll click, but not as much as the previous Assassin. I don't know. That's my worry. Especially what they were trying to do with the agenda. I think Assassin's Creed, like I said, they can't get out their own ass. And they think they're so untouchable. Now they're at a point they're like, oh my gosh, we're actually touchable. And no, I don't mean that in the very sexual way. Like they think they're untouchable, and now it took them like basically getting to this game like it's a make or break. I'll just go back to make my point. I hate that they're so reliant on Assassin's Creed, just in general, to save their franchise. Did they forget about the Watch Dogs series, or my gosh, Splinter Cell, and the Far Cry series? Because I could tell with Far Cry 6, you could tell there's a dip in quality. Not like the old games. I think it's just because of the success of Far Cry 3, the Assassin's Creed back in the past, and just the Ghost Recon series, Rainbow Six Siege. I think it's just because they were too successful that they forgot what their vision was in the first place. There was an artistic vision, I imagine, at the beginning, but then they kind of just shot themselves in the foot because they just wanted to make a quick buck. And you can tell, this is a quick buck. This is a quick buck. All these kind of poses that they're trying to do, it's kind of posing. You know that they... It's just like... What's a great metaphor? It's like saying your best friend that you haven't seen for years. They're trying so hard to be likable, but you know what they were like in the past, and you're just like, bro, what are you doing? Just act like yourself. I can't. I gotta get the likes. I gotta get the likes. I gotta get that clout. I gotta get everything. That's what Ubisoft is doing. You know, in their former glory, you know what they were like, but they're trying so hard. I know I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry about that, but still, it kind of freaking sucks to see them like that. It does. It really does suck to see Ubisoft to this point. It really sucks. And you know what? They're not the first example. You know Bungie? You know, the people who did the freaking fantastic... you know the ones who did the fantastic Halo series, and then they did Destiny, which was still great, but not like perfect. Not like the Halo series. But they had such a legendary legacy, and now they're doing Marathon, and I look at it, I'm just like, Bungie, what is going on? This is Bungie, EA, but there's so many examples of AAAs that we grew up like back in when we were kids and growing up. They're just not the same anymore. Because there's just so money hungry. Even Rocksteady, where me and Doc, we were just like, man, Rocksteady just can't do wrong. With the, original Batman trilogy. We thought they could do no wrong. And then Suicide Squad, and we're like, oh, well, I guess never mind. Even Warner Brothers is part of that too. After kind of like Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, and just their kind of lineup too, that we know they were capable of some great games too, but now they're kind of in the crunch, and they're kind of like doing some stupid pattern. That's what I mean. Is AAA games dying? No, I don't think they're absolutely dying. I think they're just getting a wake-up call that they shouldn't be focusing on monetization, microtransactions, games in development, throwing millions and millions of dollars that could be used for something like Expedition 33. I don't know. That's just me.
Oh, it's on!
Hot shot. Spill our enemies' guts to make them spill bounties. Get those. 3, 2, 1. Snag the most bounties, and you'll become the hot shot. Enemies got their first hot shot. No mercy. Our gang got its first hot shot. Cover them while they grab bounties. Don't both our bounties around our hot shot. They get extra points for. Our hot shot is a bounty grabbing machine. You got a new loadout.
Turret on Overwatch!
New hot shot on our side. Keep them upright. Go deal with the new enemy hotshot. Enemy hotshot is walking all over us.
Briar patch.
Our team's hotshot knows what's up. Don't both our bounties around our hot side. They get extra points for. Keep banking bounties, and you'll become the next hot shot.
Station mags. Kinda messed up here!
Vengeance. I'm a fan. Got a new weapon. mercy. Got a new toy. Our gang got a new hot shot. We're taking a lot of lives for the team. Love it. Putting some points on the board. Diamonds are worth more to our hot shot. You remember that, right? Almost done. And you're making a statement with this one. Ocelot loaded. You're a problem solver. We like problem solvers.
Okay. Yeah, there is actually... Let's talk about the positives in terms of that. It really is some snappy, fun, solid gameplay. Say what you will about this game. Yes, no matter how Ubisoft has got it, I'm not gonna lie, in terms of just the gameplay is very snappy. Now, in terms of the maps, where I had a complaint that they weren't just varied enough, but that was the beta, so I gave it a chance and just wanted to wait until the full expansion. Now that we're at the kind of the end of this live service game, yeah, the maps are really well designed. I think they're great callbacks to series that came before. Even though we're not getting a sequel to, let's just say, Rayman or Splinter Cell or The Division anytime soon, I just love that they listen to the fans of a crossover for whoever was playing XDefiant since the beginning. I mean, I was. but I fell off, obviously, just like a lot of people. But just the fact that they put a Rayman-centric level is such a great delight. And just seeing the poacher of Rayman, I was just like, what's up, Rayman? You got my respect. But I just like that the environments are that varied. Say what you will about XDefiant. In terms of the positive, I'm just saying in terms of like map design wise, even Call of Duty has done that too. Like they honor like their Series Pass too, but I kind of wish they do it a lot. They just don't do it as often, but they do it, just not as often. So just the fact that basically, even though it's nostalgic bait, and even though it's a cash grab, I can't. Give me a sec. Sorry, my throat was parched. Anyway, yeah, just seeing the environments that I play in those individual games is a delight. It put a stupid grin on my face, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, Rayman! I was like, yeah! Or seeing the Division, it put me back in the very first game when I was just playing my main character. Even though I haven't played the Division long, it makes me want to go back to the Division, and they're doing their job well. They know what we like, they just don't want to do it. But if we are just strictly focusing on the positive of this game, yeah, the map designs are just a delight. These are great callbacks, because they have the money. They wasted, unfortunately, a lot of money on this. But in terms of we were just sticking with the positive, I'm going to try to stick with the positive as much as I can, because I'm going to do the verdict video on, yeah, it's not all bad. I mean, just having maps tailored for specific series. I'm curious about the Far Cry series. I kind of want to vote so I can see the deck sec, because wait, do I own Watch Dogs? The first one? I own the second one in the Legion. I don't have the Battle Pass for that, even though I kind of wanted to do the DLC. But I do have the first game. Gonna have to go back to it. May I own it? Yeah, I think I own the entire trilogy. Even though they're not doing anything about it, but hey, still. And of course, they use Watch Dogs too, because it wasn't their most successful, but that's kind of where the series took a very total shift that it really needed. Consider what they were trying to do with their Batman-esque character from Watch Dogs 1, but still. Yeah, there's a passion there. I think if they had time to... I mean, they were cooked. They weren't cooking. Just as you can tell that they're basically their server's going down, but they were given time, and given that they were not just doing like battle passes and microtransaction, not really trying to chase that live service apple of Eden. Yes, that joke was intentional. If they were focused on that, there was potential on this. And I'm saying this as like a lesson to be learned from this, since this is game. If they did some cinematics too, because Ubisoft also does cinematic, what the shit? Missed opportunity to do cinematics. They didn't do it at all. I mean, that's completely okay. I mean, it is fundamentally about the gameplay, but still, what the shit? They have done cinematics for a lot of their games. But it would have been cool if they had like maybe some... I get it, it's a live service game. They're not going to do like single player campaigns, but it would have been nice, kind of like what Concord was doing, like weekly, because these are franchises that we do care about. Not all of them, but a good majority of them. But I'll say this about Concord, and I say this in terms of idea. I don't say this because I like the game. No, absolutely not. But I kind of wish they did the weekly cinematics, because these are franchises that we do care about. If they did the weekly cinematics and just kind of did it for specific characters and did cinematics, I think there was potential. I think they absolutely could have did that. I think that would have been a good idea, to do cinematics of franchise and did a lot of crossovers. Or better yet, just this is like a shot in the dark. Because I know they're not going to do it, because their money is their money is tied up with Assassin's Creed. They cannot let it fail, because that is their bread and butter. They had no choice. But Rainbow Six Siege is their bread and butter too, because it's making whatever is pretty in paper, which is Assassin's Creed to a degree, but it's really Rainbow Six Siege. They're on live support, and they know it, and they have to give us. Wait, is Ubisoft on one of the partners for the Summer Game Fest? That's a really great question that I just have to double check. But besides the point, yeah, Ubisoft, in terms of positive, just going straight back to there was potential. I would have actually been very curious of any weekly episodes they did. Let's just say they did 1 week when they first started. They did The Division. Because remember that chilling, fantastic trailer cinematic, the E3 one for The Division 1? That was super when Ubisoft actually had balls. I love that cinematic. Or like the definition of insanity when they used to do the cinematics like that. Or We All Go Boom with Giancarlo Esposito from Far Cry 6, the promotional reveal for that. Remember how chilling was when Ubisoft had balls? Yeah, it would have been cool if we had like cinematics, weekly cinematics, original cinematics, weekly. Just that would make us more excited to jump to the match. Even though the matches are just something we've seen before, they don't break the mold. That would have been maybe some kind of unique concept they could have did. I mean, come on, for Pete's sake, they had literal crossover for different franchises. Some successful, some not. They absolutely could have hit so many. Or, I don't know, take the concept of Love, Death, and Robots and just do that weekly. Keep it short, like less than 5 minutes, or 5 to 7 minutes. Less than 5 minutes or 5 to 7 minutes. They could have did it. They absolutely could have had potential to do weekly cinematics. It absolutely wouldn't work for Concord because Concord had no interesting characters at all. But I can tell you that there are lots of interesting characters in this. They could have did an Ezio special. They could have did basically a boss special. They could have did, well, not Aiden Pierce because he doesn't gel with me. I don't know. But they could have did a Marcus one. There were so many iconic characters in terms of their franchise. Or heck, they could have brought maybe a special character like Rayman or something. I don't know. There was potential here. I mean, their budget went clearly for the factions and clearly for the main menu if they're doing Assassin's Creed. Why did they not do the weekly cinematics? They have the budget. I just don't get it. This feels like this was a game set to die, and there was no hope for it at all. Really sucks for it. That's just me being positive. There was potential.
You called out my sis and me, huh? You must be ready to get serious.
Fire energized.
Great!
I need first aid!
Loadout altered.
Fire energized.
Tango eliminated.
Changing magazines!
Loading ammo! Throwing the sticky! Time to hunt! Shock fire's hot!
New weapon acquired.
Nowhere to hide. Deploying sticky grenade! Fire energized.
Loadout altered.
Changing mags.
Loadout altered.
Throwing grenade!
Engage the opposing force.
Reloading.
Planting a briar patch.
Progress update. Mission ending soon. Outlook is good. Success achieved.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, the weekly cinematics, back to that idea. Ubisoft just already has, like, a lot of established history of just having, like, multiple franchises, so it made sense with the weekly cinematics for them, or heck, even Marvel Rivals could do it, but they don't have to do it, because they have some really sick animation. Why Marvel Rivals is successful is, one, they have established heroes that we already know from the MCU, comic books, or if you haven't even watched the MCU. If you read the comic books or watched the animated series like X-Men, the good one, or Spider-Man, the good one, then yeah, absolutely, you're familiar with the Marvel heroes. Two, it's fun to play. And they definitely utilize all the Marvel heroes that their abilities are utilized in a live service way, in a very organic and fun way. Three, I'm trying to think of the third reason. Yeah, the animation is crazy up to 11. Even if their live service aspect failed, the animation, you can't deny that the animation is fan-freaking-tastic in Marvel Rivals. There was potential for this game too. Let's just say they took my idea and did the weekly like what Concord did, but they had interesting characters. I mean, these are bland characters, but what if they put Ezio, they put Rayman, they put Marcus, they put freaking Michael Ironside, or Sam Fisher. They just that. But what if they actually made some really interesting characters too? They don't put the characters from the established franchises in here. But what if they did put like the characters that we know and love, like Boss and all that? Like I was saying, weekly cinematics for this. There was potential. I think they could absolutely did that. I think they could absolutely did the weekly cinematics. And Ubisoft has the budget, so they absolutely could have did, I don't know, some animation with it. Within their budget. They absolutely could do that. But as it stands, they kind of let this franchise die. They just did another Call of Duty clone. Mind you, the gameplay is tight. It is tight. I got some pretty solid kills. Like, in terms of the compilation, when I do the verdict video, I can actually get some pretty solid gameplay footage. This is kind of one of the rare games that I actually like using a sniper. Trust me, I hate going against a sniper because in Call of Duty, I like getting in the sniper space and just shooting the shit out of them. But it's kind of weird, when I'm the sniper class. When I'm in the sniper class, I'm having a blast. And I'm just like, okay, now I can see why people go nuts over the sniper, because it's absolutely fun. It's actually crazy of how fun the sniper is when you actually are playing it. It's actually insane. But I can see why people do play the sniper. There's a sense of gravitas and just like doing no scope or just doing some really dope kills with sniper. It just can't be replicated in other genres whenever there is a sniper. Unless, you're playing the hardest difficulty level. But when you're in the first-person shooter, you go into the sim mode when you play the sniper. Especially if you're just nailing it against real people. Not real people in terms of that, like real people in terms of the game. Don't want to actually touch that joke, or there's no joking of that at all. But yeah, just being a sniper in a multiplayer game like this is very, very, very OG. It's OP. Especially when you just become, like, you just hone into that and just become a badass with sniper. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, the gameplay is actually tight. There is potential. They just wasted it with battle passes and microtransaction and just trying to be hip and chase the live service piece of Eden. I'm just saying, there was potential here, just like Multiverse. Only Multiverse did it better. But yeah, no excuse for what Multiverse did for trying to unlock fighters. They should have gave us the characters from the get-go, like Marvel Rivals. Again, like I was saying in Multiverse, getting characters at the get-go and not having to unlock them, and just only unlock the skins, just do the pretty much level up and grind for the skins is okay in my book. As long as I have all the characters for the get-go, and I get to keep each character, all the characters in each season, yes, that's what I want. I don't want to have to work to unlock them. It just, I don't know. That's such a chore, and people just don't have that time. I don't have that time. I'm just saying. Oh, anyway.
HQ standing by for tactical support. Good luck, and Godspeed, operator. Detonator deployed, operator. Keep it functional.
Yeah, I didn't want to bore you guys just pretty much sitting there and not doing anything. Not on purpose. It's just I wasn't doing anything. Clearly nothing was going on, or nothing I could do. Okay, optics-wise, that's fine. Yeah, it does take forever to kind of like, this is typical Ubisoft, having to pretty much level up and grind it. Just to kind of like even use the weapons to their full efficiency. In other words, to be a badass, you had to play the game multiple times, but the game is literally going to be shutting down. There's no offline mode. Yeah. I do want Marvel Rivals, back to Marvel Rivals again. I do want it to have a single player campaign at some point. You know how much people would have a great time just have a single player campaign focus on it? I get it. It's a live service game. They're not going to do a single player campaign. But I think with time, and they could do it right, I think it would be fun. I'm going to customize it. Sure, why not? Okay, so that's just mastery and all that. That's cool. Ooh, Ghost Street. I like that. But paintballer, I'm feeling that. Ah. Drift. Anarchy. Why not? Ironically, no skins for that. I'm feeling camo. Shotguns always look better with camo. Case in point. Sure, why not? Throw the goat. I don't know why. Wonder if I'll be able to get a kill with the machine gun before I leave it. Looks like marathon. I don't know. Maybe marathon will actually be good. I doubt it. I really doubt it. Just from what I saw in terms of the gameplay footage, I was just like, I'm not impressed. I know I should probably, or I was like, I get what they're going for. It just wasn't impressed. And I know why I wasn't impressed with the... Oh, hold on. Nope. Yeah, you know what? Fine. Alright, how many minutes we got? 49. Okay, let's just do an hour mark, because that's what we want to do. Put the time in this.
This is HQ. Prepare to engage opposing forces in war game scenarios. Operation is green.
Revenge is revenge.
Changing mags. I'm dying here.
Capture zone contested. Allies on the zone. Zone is compromised. Reinforced. Be advised, capture zone is changing location.
What's yours is mine. We're capturing. Need a dock here. Grenades away. Zone in jeopardy. Capture zone contested. Loadout. Capture zone relocating. Capturing zone. Zone imperiled. And hacked.
Capture zone is changing location.
Drag out.
The enemies are right at home in that zone, but they're not even using coasters for their soft base. Hostile echelon just goggled up. Capturing zone. Rotating.
I'll have that.
Stop and drop.
Zone in jeopardy. Capturing zone. Loadout refreshed.
We got history.
Cheer now. Not every human life is without purpose or reward. Loadout refreshed. Capture zone at risk. Capture zone is changing location. We're capturing. In peril. Capture zone contested.
And
We're capturing. Capture zone at risk. Capture zone relocating. Ooh, a shiny new trophy.
Changing mate.
Take your legs.
Time to bleed.
Zone in jeopardy. Hostile echelon can see through walls now. Consider running rather than hiding. We're capturing. Capture zone relocating. Capture zone at risk. Our team's losing. Have you considered not losing? Park yourself in that capture zone. We're capturing. Zone in peril. weapon. How fun. Zone moving elsewhere. Capturing.
I'm dying here. Frag out. Grenades away.
New weapon. How fun. Zone in jeopardy. We're capturing. Capture zone contested. Zone moving elsewhere.
And
Capture zone at risk. Capturing zone.
Oh, yeah!
Zone in jeopardy. Zone's moving.
what's yours is mine.
Zone compromised. Hostile echelon